Welcome back, you guys. It is Tuesday night, and we came to you right before the NBA Finals had kicked off, and we're here. It is Tuesday night as we get ready to kick off Game 3 down in Miami at the Miami home court tomorrow. As we see here, this NBA Finals hasn't been the same that we're used to seeing in a nutshell when it comes to um, the teams that are currently in the NBA Finals, that's in the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat, but then also to the favored teams that were supposed to be here are not there. Um, which is awkward for everyone that doesn't cover Denver or Miami. That's the first thing. Um, yes, even though Denver was or is, excuse me, not was, but is the number one seed in the Western Conference, and were the one seed for a majority of the season, um, is in the NBA Finals and as a number one seed should be, which is in the NBA Finals. Uh, the Nuggets were not favored to make it to the NBA Finals. It was the Los Angeles Lakers. It was the John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, but not for some reason the Denver Nuggets. And as we have seen throughout the playoffs, and not just the playoffs, but also the NBA Finals currently right now, is how good Denver is, and is Denver one of the teams that we will continue to see in the Western Conference Finals, if not the finals, for the foreseeable future. With the team that they currently have constructed, I mean, that is a team that we could possibly look at and say, hey, yes, it wasn't bought how most teams are put together in this uh, 2023 time of players wanting to play with players. These players were all kind of put together, but also were coached and have been coached by the same coach now for a little bit of time now with Mike Malone there, and how that's worked out for him and his team. Um, they don't have any flashy players. You know, Jamal Murray is probably one of their most flashiest players, but no one is a standout like, oh, this is the guy that's going to lead the team, or this is the guy that's the face of the NBA. And if we look at it, it is another international player, which is Nikola Jokic, which is leading this team, um, not just as a player, but as a leader in his clubhouse and in his team, respectively. So when we look at that, that's not normal for the NBA. That is not the normal construct. But it could be what is normal for the NBA moving forward with all these international superstars coming in from overseas to play in the NBA. That's just one. And then as we look at my beloved Miami Heat team and them being the 8th seed and them barely making it into the play-in and kind of doing it the hard way. And they are no stranger to the hard way of how they do things. When we look at how Miami did play um, averagely in the regular season and has went along for the long ride, and where we see Miami today, which is in the NBA Finals, hasn't been favored whatsoever when it comes to any series that they played, and very rarely were they favored to win any game in the playoffs. As we saw Game One kick off in Denver, obviously Miami wasn't favored to win Game One. You know, they had a 17, under 20% chance of winning that game and they just didn't have a lot of shots that didn't fall for them. They just missed a lot of open shots. They didn't play as aggressively as we saw them play in game two. But if you think about it, if Max Strus wouldn't have went 0 for 10, or um, Gabe Vincent didn't go 0 for 3 or 0 for 6, like they could have possibly won that game. Yes, a lot of people want to say it was garbage time, but really, um, in Miami's eyes, there is really no garbage time when it comes to how they have constructed and how they play. They're going to play to the last whistle. They're going to play to the last minute, to the last second, because that's just how they're coached and how they're put together. Miami, for some reason, is a team that everyone looks at and it's like, oh, it's just Miami. Well, no, like Miami has been a they've been to 7 NBA finals since 2006. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, they are unfortunately not the most glamour team because they don't have those superstars that the NBA and the national media want to talk about. They want to talk about LeBron James and how they still are still talking about LeBron James when he's at home fly fishing, doing what he does, and you have the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets playing in the NBA Finals right now. And if we look at Game Two and how Game Two roared along, I mean it was a very back and forth game. Miami played with a lot more urgency than what they did before. Um, so they definitely put things together that they did do in game one, but also in game two, they kind of still kept the same construct, but they came out a lot more aggressively when it came to how they played the game. They attacked the rim. The 3 point shots they did hit obviously did go in. Uh, so they never changed the way they played. They changed the lineup a little bit, and it worked out that well for them. It worked out very well for them. You could almost see them taking the same type of lineup they had in game two, walking it into game three. Obviously, part of the narrative right now is Tyler Hero and his broken hand injury that he suffered uh, in the first round against the Milwaukee Bucks. It's still swollen. It's still not looking good. I'm not sure how much of a factor Tyler would be in these NBA finals, just due to the fact that he's missed substantial time when it's come to the Miami Heat and the run that they are currently on right now. I'm not sure if he would disrupt much of the flow of the game. Obviously, we know Tyler's not a strong defender. I mean, but he is a walking bucket. I mean, he's averaged 20 points over the course of the um, season, and he continues to do that. So I'm not sure what's the intent or what we're trying to do, or what Miami's. I mean, obviously it's a chess match, but just when it comes to that portion there. And then if we look at Jimmy Butler, there's been some talks about his dad not doing so well, his dad not, and they're kind of using that as a, I don't want to say built-in excuse, but it's something that they've talked about pretty extensively. But the crazier part is there isn't a lot on it. I mean, Jimmy is pretty private when it comes to his life and that aspect of it. So I don't see Jimmy using it as an excuse if they do lose. I mean, everything we've heard from this team is they're gonna win, they're gonna win, they're gonna win, and it's a very good um, way to look at things um, with Miami and how they've been playing throughout the playoffs. And when we look at, I mean, let's just take a look at and just look at some of the things that they're saying on the Miami Heat.
Hey man, let me talk to young fella. He said the biggest thing about the finals is really embracing, cherishing the moment. It's always D-Way just telling me to be myself and be who I am, create my own story, and go out there and compete and do what you love to do. And that's when he's been in my corner for a very long time now. I'm very grateful. He is a huge reason why I'm here. I don't like to be compared to that guy, but the one thing that I do want to be like him is a champion. So that's what I got to go do. In the bubble,
I know that's. I don't want to. I don't want to be Nostradamus right now. We're taking it one day at a time, and I know that sounds like a cliche. He did the practice with the group. He's going to do a full contact, workout after this. We'll evaluate that. Uh, we'll meet, with the training staff later on today, probably tomorrow, and we'll just continue this process. He has not been cleared yet, so that's where we are. But we're encouraged by the work that he's been doing. Yeah, I don't want to.
Or in other places where I just think I could do it. Nah, that's not the answer. Here, we understand that I need those guys, and I hope those guys need me a little bit too. But it's like it's perfect basketball. We love playing for and with one another. If you open and pass it, like I've always said, I got so much faith in them. I can't.
So as you heard the Miami Heat talk about and talk about how Jimmy Butler wants his team to feels like that they need him to be successful, just like how he is, and what he feels well. But also too, the fun fact is how like Dwayne Wade obviously is retired, is still giving guidance, is still talking to the team about the playoffs and the NBA Finals, and just to cherish it. I mean, I think he's 100% right when it comes to it, like cherishing what he does and how that team is in the finals again, two in the past 4 years. I think says a lot about teams, says a lot about the organization, and that's just how that stuff works. And I'm just super excited to see what they're doing, and how Miami is taking a taking a look at it. Let's look at this one video right here that they have from the fourth quarter.
It's the Nuggets 83 and the Heat 75.
During the fourth.
75.
During the fourth quarter, our guys love to compete, to put themselves out there in those moments of truth.
So much belief and faith in them. They're gonna make the next play.
Open three, Gabe Vincent knocks it down. Out to Martin. Martin, three-pointer. Puts it in. Robinson fires and hits a three-pointer.
They're ignitable, and I love it when they see a couple, two or three go down. That can turn into 5 or 6.
Butler, corner three. It's good.
Drives to the lane, puts up a one-hander, scores, and is fouled.
Jimmy Butler's jump shot. It's good.
Lowry uses the Bam screen right back to Bam! Threw it down with two hands.
I feel like we can take home like no other. Having an opportunity to be 1-1, and then you take care of home. You try to close out the series from there.
Could we say that Bam Adebayo could possibly be the Finals MVP with the way that he's playing? Could we possibly see that Bam might be the X factor for this Miami Heat to go forward and win this NBA championship? I mean, it's not crazy enough to say that it isn't, because Bam is that guy. I mean, he didn't play. He played somewhat okay in the Eastern Conference Finals, but we've seen definitely a different Bam Adebayo in these NBA Finals, and I think he's seizing the moment. He has stepped up to the challenge, knowing that Nikola Jokic is a two-time MVP, knowing the playoff experiences he has, and just taking care of business like he should. He's a very underrated player, underrated center, as they would say. But I think it's just a matter of time until it happens. Let's take a look at this right here.
We've heard all the noise throughout the whole playoffs. Biggest thing for us, we have a will, we have a belief, and we keep finding ways to win.
Duncan came in was a huge spark for us. You know, he's ignitable. You know, we got a number of guys that are like that, but he does it in a special way. And
Kyle just has this veteran championship experience that just kind of settles everybody, and he just makes the big appropriate plays or big plays at the appropriate times. And then bam, you know, we just can't say enough of how difficult his responsibilities are in this series.
it's part of our DNA for one. You know, everyone on this team has battled through adversity in some manner and been knocked down and had to get back up. And for number two, we got a lot of experience in these close games. So when it comes down to the wire, we're strangely comfortable.
So the series starts when away team wins, so now it becomes best of five. But we get to go back home with the series split, so we can tip our hats to that and feel good about that.
I think he said it correctly, which is Bam does have a tough test against the Denver Nuggets, and how important Bam is to that offense and how they run that offense right now. So it's only just a matter of time till we see what happens in Game 3. I think Game 3 is going to be huge. I think Game 3 is going to be part of a bigger portion than what we think it's going to be. I know there's one. I think it's right here.
I gave an opportunity for everybody on our team to speak and talk about what they saw on the film. And it was a very honest conversation. And guys owned what they needed to own. But we have to learn from Game 2 and use it to our advantage, to your point, Tim. And what I know about our group is for years now, we've handled adversity very well. And I have no doubt that tomorrow night will be a much more disciplined, urgent team for 48 minutes. And we had a really good film session this morning.
I think he's right. The Nuggets did not play with sense of urgency in Game 2. They did not close out defenders like they should have. Left a lot of open three-pointers at the game. We'll just see what they do. I think Game 3 will come down to a very aggressive game. Miami still has to stay focused. Miami still has to continue to do what they do. If they can walk away 3-1 in Miami, win both games at home, and go back to Denver to finish it up, it would be awesome. A lot of people have it in Game 6, which would be on Miami's home court. But if this goes to a Game 7, it would be very hard for Miami to win. If they won the NBA Finals, they would have to definitely win it in a convincing fashion, just like they did in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's my take on it. Let us know what you guys' thoughts on the NBA Finals. Who do you have winning the NBA Finals? And just let us know. I appreciate it. We always thank you for your support. We thank our affiliates for their support, Apex Predators Outfitters, and also Hill Custom Firearms and Solutions as well. You can always use Jive Turkey 65 for both of those websites there to get 10% off. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know. And until next time, thanks, you guys.